Hello, students. This is Saxon Algebra 2, Lesson 56. And there are a few things that would be helpful to review before we get into the meat of this lesson. First, that there are 360 degrees in a circle. Now, here is a central angle, so-called because the vertex of the angle is in the center of the circle. The measure of the arc that the angle subtends, this is the arc that the angle subtends, is equal to the measure of the angle. So if this angle is A degrees, then this arc is also A degrees. For now, we always measure angles and arcs in degrees. Later, we will learn to measure them in radians. Notice that the central angle actually defines two arcs. The minor arc that's shown here, and this major arc that goes all the way around the other way. We can name these arcs by labeling the endpoints of the angle's rays. So I will label this endpoint B and this endpoint C. So the minor arc is arc BC. And as we saw before, arc BC is equal to the measure of angle A. For the major arc, we need to label one more random point on the circle to distinguish it from the minor arc. So the major arc is BXC, and the measure of the major arc, BXC, is equal to the measure, always goof, 360 degrees minus the measure of angle A. So in general, minor arcs have a 2-letter designation and major arcs have a 3-letter designation. Next, when we move the vertex of the angle from the center to a point on the circle, we have an inscribed angle. And if you recall, in this case, the measure of the inscribed angle A, I'll again call this B and C. So this is arc, it subtends arc BC. So the measure of the angle that's A degrees is only 1/2 the measure of arc BC. Finally, the last thing we need to remember before we can get into the good stuff in this lesson has to do with triangles. Okay, I got here any old triangle. And we've learned about exterior angles. If we extend any side of the triangle, we create an exterior angle. There's an exterior angle, we'll call it X degrees. And if you remember, it turns out that the measure of this exterior angle X degrees equals the sum of the measures of the two remote interior angles. They call them remote because they're the farthest away. Of course, the measure of the angle that's connected to X is going to be 180 minus X. We're not interested in that. But X degrees is equal to A degrees plus B degrees. So with this under our belts, we're ready to tackle the meat of this lesson, See you next time.